Yeah, it's Richard again, here to talk about some various topics and keeping in mind that this will probably get 0 views. Now, what has been on my mind lately has been certain aspects of Japanese culture. Not culture as a whole, but several key aspects of it. Not connected to the internet at the moment, so this will be a bit of a memory exercise. I remember I'll base this topic on when I was talking to Grok about. That's the X AI. We've been talking about the tension and release of Japanese culture. I remember Mishima himself saying about how Japanese culture was overly polite all the time until it builds and builds up into a big explosion. And I've read about this many times. It's a social and political trend where there will be exceptions to the rule and also pockets of ultra extreme violence at bursts. It just seems to be a given and a taken. So I find this tension and release, tension cam pattern happen through pretty much anything Japanese, right? It rarely takes the balanced route or the flat route entirely. It will be a peak every so often and real smooth and then peak. Yeah. And that's fascinating in itself because that's, as someone who has related to and aligned with the serpent, it's very much similar. Very much the shedding of skins, the thin skin underneath, and the muscular, violent nature of the serpent. It imitates the serpent's calm before the bite, or the lesion to its skin, or both. I might not go into this topic too much further, because I could spend ages talking about Japan. But it's certainly a massive relief to watch animes. You know what, let's just keep talking about Japan. Let's talk about animes and Crunchyroll mainly. So Crunchyroll, what a great site. That's one of the few things that I would spend money on. I think I've got 2 online subscriptions that I don't regret at all. And that's Crunchyroll and Spotify. Spotify, I've been listening to a lot of trap music. Not trap. Drill. I've got a long video on drill and other musics I've been listening to recently. It seems that it's been whittled down to drill. And I'm taking notice of what they're saying and what they're noticing and things like that. I'm slowly getting absorbed into that through empathy, not through action. My activities that drill artists, the activities that drill artists do aren't my activities. So it's really leaning into, well, how are these guys living? How are they reporting it? And the terminology they use and the way they would fill bars artistically. They would fill bars of music, like lines of music, not saying very much, but making it artistic, expressive of, not even, it comes from a place not of like complete nonsense, but it had each meaningless verse carries with it a sort of ethos of underground activity. There's the stylization of like a stylization that accompanies or precedes actions, in this case of underground criminality. And yes, that's me, I suppose, peering over the side of a cliff or whatever, because I know I can't even emulate. I can't even emulate or would want to start to get involved in this kind of culture. The time for drugs for me ended quite a long time ago. Now I just take my meds, and that's it. So I won't dwell on too many meaningless things, though a few meaningless things have happened recently. The important thing is keeping clean, mostly, and keeping a good pure signal, which sounds like silence. There's an annoying mental pattern that happens where a bit of rubbish builds up in my head, just useless information. And it feels foreign to me, even though it feels like me at the bottom of it. It's really like an empty crisp packet blowing through the wind. So, wow, we're 6 minutes in already. Instantly my mind drifts to the watercolors and the paintings that are in animes. They're usually on screen for, let's say, 2 seconds to 4 seconds, depending on the anime, if it really does matter to the anime and the overall the overall object of the anime, objective even, and is in line with the creator's agenda, you will see these masterpieces for varying lengths of time, but it never exceeds a few seconds. And then you'll have far more simplistic scenes, painted lovingly, caringly, yes, but what I'm talking about is you'll get 2 to 4 seconds typically of a masterpiece of a landscape, gouache, watercolor, wonderful painting. And then in the kitchen, they could be talking for 10 minutes and it would just be very simple anime faces. Drawn as simply as possible, I guess, so that every subtle detail isn't missed in the paradigm and language of anime body language. Yeah, so Crunchyroll, very good for somebody who's mainline religious aspects include appreciation is pretty much key. Appreciation takes on a new meaning when applied to almost anything Japanese, because it's not just about appreciating the sting or the violence or the flashes in the pan. It's not just about that. It draws my attention to the big things through subtilization of them. And that's basically just what I was talking about with the landscapes. They're drawn down to almost nothing. So a lot of people will watch animes and think nothing of it. They've watched a watercolor that should have taken days by a master, dismissed within seconds. You know, when you realize the reality of what you're watching like that, the anime itself is fiction, but it is fact that these are masterpieces of fine art that they display for a very short second time. It feels like families in Japan and Japanese education should teach a bit about this and maybe flavor it always with this is what appreciation is. This will help us reach the gold standard of appreciation of life. So yes, watching anime from that mindset is very enriching and very appropriate to this aspect of my morality. So here I am, snuggled up to Japan for the time being. You know, I might as well mention it. I've been looking up anime pictures because I find them calming. I find anime wallpapers, AI helped or not. And thinking back to the old days where there was no AI, people would spend hours and hours or days and days making these beautiful, complex, glowing, happy pictures, say of a girl chilling out playing a game in front of 3 screens, or making something on one of their art pads. They would typically make mangas on. You know, I don't know if they have the name for it, but it'd be like a tablet computer reactive to a implement pen type thing. Something I probably won't get back into myself. I remember getting disillusioned with my art last night as well. I can see it behind me when I look at the screen. I see myself there. You know, it's really up close. I get to see what it is. It's like, oh, there's some orange. I wonder what I was thinking when I put that shape there, and what meaning it has now. So my art remains personal to me. On a greater scale, I've dialed the grander scale down. I must be the first son of man in history to stop producing signs, and I was told it so repeatedly that I'm afraid I have. It's time for Richard to be human. It's time for Richard to be human. I've been thinking about locksmithing. Haven't been looking it up or anything, but the need for a craft besides YouTube journaling, I guess it is video creation for YouTube. This is such a hobby. But it's real. It comes from a real place within me. It is very genuine in my delivery and very consistent. And these are things that should be more present on YouTube. You should be able to witness vulnerability without constantly editing it to make it, you know, that like I always edit that, but I get kind of sick of that. I get pretty sick of that. It's like, well, just do your thing. Just do your thing. If you make a mistake, come up that up later. You know, knocking over a water or whatever. You can make a glass of water, right? Let's say I knock over a glass of water. I go over there to show you something and knock over a glass of water. What's the classic edit thing to do? Disguise it with humor. Disguise it with click, click, click. Oh, yee, boom, boom, boom. It's gone. No, I would just go, oh, failed 6, get the mop out, whatever, and just walk you through it. A genuine blunder would get edited, though. If it was a golden video and there was a freak moment, a window in time where it needed edited out, it gets edited out. But that rarely, if ever, happens. Instead, I'll probably just pause if there's an interruption, or just keep going, because life just keeps going. You're not going to learn much about Richard's life if he's constantly editing it and putting on a persona now, are you? And replace Richard with your name. What are your videos like? And all that. I'm taken back to last night where I was watching a man's sort of mental health video journal, and it wasn't too compelling, but it was honest, and it fits the bill for an honest switch on the camera, have a chat with the camera about how I'm doing, and it wasn't particularly engrossing, but it did. I was able to like plus it on the vibe, right? And then I was watching a dramatized PewDiePie focus on his depression while making his most popular videos. Again, this isn't something I recommend. Neither of these I recommend. In fact, I do the opposite. What is the opposite of recommend? I would recommend you stay away from them. You know, seeing PewDiePie depressed and what he's really feeling in those early days of him forcing his way, faking it till he makes it sort of mentality, I don't want that, you know. PewDiePie, do you want that? PewDiePie, seriously? Do you want people to know? Oh, well, for a brief moment in time, for maybe 10 to 20 minutes, we can look at the dark side of PewDiePie, where he's drinking whiskey and laughing, where he really just wants to switch off the computer and relax with the rest of the bottle of whiskey. Now, the video wasn't kind enough to say, well, what a good job he's doing. Instead, it played like synth violins, did a lot of zooming into the face. You know how YouTube does that. To like, it's another way of masking vulnerability. But for somebody who has seen it enough times, knows it's like magnifying vulnerability. The constant little clips and edits. It's a dialect, though. I'll boil it down to this neutral word. The constant editing of clips so that they sort of jump. It's a style. It's a dialect. Like cubism. Cubism, you're seeing little parts of what the thing is meant to be. Or what the thing was is better. Not what it's meant to be. Guys with heavily edited YouTube videos. Continue your style, you know. You won't learn anything from me because my videos are as simple as can be. You will learn stuff from me actually, but you know, you're a different catalog. What else is good? I don't think I've mentioned this publicly yet. I don't think I've mentioned it publicly that I've been using Lynx as the main soap, as the main cleaner, because I have a lot of Lynx. I think I counted them. I think I've got about 12 Lynx shower gels. And they're all given to me as presents. So I have a good Lynx shower every day. Or if not, if I miss a day, I'll definitely have a good long Lynx shower. See if the bathroom floor needs clean, mop, whatever. Honestly, it's I get down on my knees and use a sponge. So I'll fill the sink with warm water. Here we go, and put in a good dollop of Lynx. And we've got the soapy stage. Put everything in suds. Get rid of as many suds as we can with a clean, warm sponge full of water. And rinse and repeat. It's nice to have that in its literal context. So, this is my, well, just after noon. So I could have said good morning at the start of the video, and that would have made sense. And I could be saying good evening as my way to sign off, or good afternoon. No, it sounds like green, doesn't it? Anyway, this video shall be drawn to a close very shortly because 20 minutes is what these videos usually are around. So, have a nice day, folks. Enjoy life while you have life within your bones and marrow and cells in your body and organs and whoever can hear my voice or read the transcript or comes across this by mistake or skip to the end, have my blessing for the day. And please, please, no matter what you do, find that silver lining, enjoy that peace, rename something you've always named negatively, and have a good time. Peace and love. Peace and love. Stop recording.